What's going on, guys? Beastly Gamer here. Welcome to the Beastly Gamer channel, and this video is another Beastly Indie about a crazy trip I took to Gamestop. I was actually in Gamestop. This is right before I went on vacation, and two crazy things happened in one trip. Normally, I go to Gamestop, pick up collectible figures or something like that, and nothing ever happens. But this trip in particular, two crazy things happened. I went into Gamestop. I was buying some pop figures. And I was standing in line, and behind me the door opened up, and I turned around, and there was this guy. It was a black dude, about 5'11", 6 foot, walking towards me. Now keep in mind, I'm gonna paint a picture. He had on a full ski mask, gloves, a backpack, swimming goggles on his eyes. He looked like he was looking upset, and he was walking straight towards me. So I backed up and posted up on him. I was going to hit him, and he saw me kind of post, and so he started to walk. He stopped and he started walking around to my right, kind of circling. And at that point, the clerk behind the counter called out his name, and he said, "What are you doing, man?" And they said, "Hey, man, he's all right. He's with us." I mean, they said we know him, and I was like, "What the fuck, man?" He had headphones on, big headphones, and so he couldn't hear me. And so I said, "Well, who is this dude, man?" I said, "He comes in here like this. What the fuck's going on?" And they were like, "Oh, he works like down here inside Walmart." And I was like, "Well, he shouldn't come into a place like this, especially with all the shit going on around the world with terrorists and bomb threats and all kinds of shit." I said, "This dude's about to get fucked up in here." And so by then, I guess their little manager was telling him to take that stuff off. And the kid started taking it off, and he came over to the counter. I said, "Hey, man," I said, "I was getting ready to fuck you up, man." He said, "Oh, I would have liked to seen that." Anyway, I said, "You don't come. How old are you?" And finds out this guy's 21. He worked at a McDonald's inside Walmart. I said, "You come into a place and they got customers in here. You got people with children, and they see you coming here like that with a backpack on. You got your ski mask." I said, "You're about the same height as my son, and if my son had done something like that, I would have beat his fucking ass." And he was like, "I'm lucky not your son." I said, "Well, your parents probably should whoop your ass coming here doing something that immature." Come to find out, the kid's 21. And by the end of the conversation, he had kind of come around to the fact that maybe he should have rethought that, because while I do have firearms, I wasn't strapped that particular day, but if I was, I may have pulled out on him and made him lay on the ground. Because people do really stupid stuff. Walking into a GameStop, full ski mask, headphones, swimming goggles on your eyes, gloves, and a backpack. That doesn't sound, especially if you don't go into GameStop every day, and you don't see that, it can kind of heighten your awareness and get you to fear level 4 to make sure that everybody's all right. But I talked to this kid. He ended up laughing, having a good time by the end of the conversation. And so that was the first incident inside my local GameStop. So I'm walking out of GameStop, and right next to my vehicle is another vehicle with a family. It was a young lady, a white lady, her husband, and a little boy. The little boy looked like he was 9 or 10 years old, and they had an Xbox in their hand. They were standing at the rear bed of their truck. It was the original Xbox. And, me being the collector I am, I said, "Whoa," I said, "You guys got the original there, huh?" And she said, "Yeah, he broke his 3DS, so we're going to take it in there and get rid of all his games." I was like, wow, he broke his 3DS. And the little boy was like looking away from me. You could tell he had kind of an attitude. And so she said, "Yeah, he took his 3DS. He was mad because it was time to eat dinner and he wouldn't put it away. So he took his 3DS and snapped it in half." And in my mind, I'm thinking, damn, this is a thug little kid, right? And so I looked at the little boy. I said, "Yeah, man," I said, "if you're doing stuff like that, you probably don't need to have video games until you're mature enough to deal with them." So the little boy looked at me and he rolled his eyes. I was like, this is a thug, man. Anyway, the mother started telling me how she's having lots of trouble out of this boy. Like every day he's doing something. He's kicking the cat. She said he'll take like a cup of juice and pour it on the table. And I was like, wow. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, this boy, let me have this boy for 2 weeks. I promise you he'll be fine. Anyway, I looked at the little kid. I said, "Hey, man," I said, your mom and dad, they work hard. You gotta understand that, I had to go back to the old trope. Money don't grow on trees. And so the little boy was standing right next to a tree, and he looked at me and said, "Well, actually it does." And then the mother started to cut him off. I said, wait, let me hear what this little dude's about to say. And he said, money does grow on trees. It comes from wood and paper comes from wood. So actually it does. And I'm thinking, this smart little fucker. And so I looked at the little boy. I said, yeah, I said, in theory it does. But I'd like to see you take some of that wood back inside GameStop and get your Xbox back. And then he looked at me and rolled his eyes again. I'm thinking, this is a badass little kid. Anyway, dealing with the parents and talking to them, I kind of came to my own conclusion that these people were on meth. The mother had what I call shark teeth. Like each tooth came to a point. She had teeth like Pennywise the Clown from Stephen King's It, and her boyfriend had similar teeth. I was like, God, they must eat meth for lunch. And so the little boy was, the gentleman, her boyfriend, was talking to me about the little boy and how he caught him like trying to strangle their cat. And I said, hey man, I said, you can't be doing stuff like that, man. You're going to get older. You're going to be thankful that your mom and dad were here to stop you. He said, he's not my dad. I was like, damn, this kid is a trip. He said, he's not my dad. And I said, well, is this your mother? He said, yeah. I said, you respect your mother, right? And he kind of hesitated. He said, yeah. I said, well, you got to respect the man who your mother chose. I said, you can't be disrespectful. And so he just rolled his eyes on, and they ended up going into the store, I guess, getting rid of the Xbox. And it was one of those crazy ass GameStop trips. I came home and told my wife we were actually getting ready to go to the Bahamas during that time. And it was just a funny situation. But let me tell you this. If that little boy had came home with me, I swear to God, I would have had him straight in 1 month. I come from an old school mentality. My father was old school. And whenever we screwed something up, trust me, we felt it when we got home. Back in those days, if you did something wrong, you were going to go home and get your butt dusted. And that's what happens. That's how my kids are. If they do something wrong, they get their butts dusted. That's why I have honor roll students who are respectful, who say yes ma'am and yes sir. That's why I got a 5-year-old daughter who's homeschooled, who reads on a 3rd grade level. And that's why I got a 3-year-old who can read on a 1st grade level. You got to stay on these kids. You got to make them do the right thing. It'll turn them into people with good moralistic compasses when they grow up. But that was really my crazy GameStop experience. I kind of wanted to share with you guys, let you guys know what happened to me down here in Atlanta, Georgia. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give a thumbs up and show support for the channel. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe now. I'm the Beastly Gamer, and I'll see you guys next time.